How's it going, friends and family of the internet? Welcome to the Real AF TV podcast, the show about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. I'm one of your hosts, Josh LaBaw.
And I am also a host, I guess. I've never said that I'm a host before. I just always say my name. Like
You are a host.
I was thinking about that last time. I'm like, I've never said I'm a host. You're just like, I am one of your hosts, Josh LaBaw. And then I'm just always like, I'm Tim Wagner.
No, I don't know. I always felt like it implied that it was, that meant you were the other host. I guess I never thought about it. I think you're overthinking it.
I wasn't trying to, but the other day I just thought about it and I'm like, well, should I say I'm a host too? Or like, yeah, it is implied, but it's also weird that I just never said it. I just come in saying my name.
Oh, shit. Well, Tim, shit, the other week, the other podcast, a few podcasts ago, man, we opened up with our random jaunts about well, hold on, let me do this. We're going to be talking, because this is the show about fishing and random takes, so our fishing topic, it's going to be a tough one, Tim, but we've always said it. One of the things we built Real AF TV on, we were trying to build Real AF TV on, education, fun, not some boring shit.
Fungification.
Yeah, that's right. That's the word. Oh, that's the word I had in the office before COVID. Remember? I put it on the wall. Fungification.
It's on the wall.
Yeah, it was on the wall. I remember
we had to
that
go back to Kinko's to get extra letters. I don't know. They sell letters at Kinko's. I don't know.
Oh, so anyway, what it is, it's going to be Giant Salvinia. It is a crazy invasive species of aquatic wildlife, of aquatic plant life. And it's ravaging the South, but there was a little change with the big freeze. So we're going to talk about that in the fishing take. And the random take is going to be blockbusters at home and delayed things like that because of what's been going on with COVID, how these blockbusters are dropping at home, how some are pushing. So we're going to go into that shit in the second half. A few podcasts ago, Tim, we started this random ranting that we do in the beginning.
Yeah.
With a little DMX, Ja Rule conversation. And fucking DMX died, dude. 50-year-old OD'd, man. You even said it. I think he's in Carolina being a crackhead. And fucking, dude, he died today.
Well, I was wrong about the state, but he definitely was doing them drugs.
Yeah, he OD'd this weekend and he died. So fucking R.I.P. DMX, man.
He's staring at the roof of the church and the preacher's telling the truth and it hurts.
So words never rang more true.
If you didn't know, that's a line from that fella. And he
wrote everything as far as I know.
Yeah, he should have. He had a unique style to him. I mean, I feel like you have people helping you out here and there. I feel like that's why there's so many writers on some of these songs too nowadays. Yeah. Where you'll have like 15 different writers and they're like, really, that many people? It's because one guy came in and was just like, hey bro, you probably don't need to say and right there. Like you just cut and.
Right. And everybody needs their credit because they don't get it. They're going to fucking sue you when the song blows up.
Right. They're just like, bro, I was recording on my phone that day. Like that was me. My advice.
Yeah, for real.
And then Justin Bieber's like, well, God damn it. I don't want to put and back in the song. He's right. It sounded better. Fuck it. Put him in the credits.
Fuck it. Whatever.
But no,
we'll give him 12 cents.
And so one of my favorite lines of his, since we're a fishing podcast and we're paying homage, is he say, you know who's gonna find you? Some old man fishing. He said, he says, your ass is about to go missing. You know who gonna find you? Some old man fishing. Love it.
Yes, me too. I clearly remember that. And I mean, I remembered the line before too. I'm sure our DMX lyrics match up quite well.
Oh, it's pretty close, I would say. I think that was one of my first ever CDs from, you remember that like whatever the hell that CD company was that was just like, you get all these CDs or whatever.
Columbia House, where it's like,
Columbia
you get
House
10 free
I
if
don't
you sign
remember
up now.
how that worked, but those people did not come after shit. Their collections people sucked balls. I remember like sending in the first initial thing, and then they're like, we're going to send you a bunch more CDs, and then you got to send us money. And then I never sent them money, and they never came after it. They're just like, here's all your CDs. I ended up getting like 10 CDs. I think I only spent like $10. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
I think you probably landed at the perfect time where they were just already out of business.
Right,
They
they're
just kept
going
trying.
on. Yeah,
they were just done though.
Never had anybody come after me. It's like, this kid's not even on the record. I don't know, but yeah, I got DMX and a whole bunch of good stuff. And
fuck yeah, dude, nice.
Yeah.
Anyways, R.I.P. DMX, man, that was crazy. And speaking of that physical media, that's what we were talking about in the last episode, getting them all them CDs. Go back and listen to that one. Get caught up.
And if we're talking about current events and people died, the Prince Philip also died today.
Yeah, I know, but in America, DMX is a bigger deal.
Dude, DMX is so much bigger deal. Like, I don't care about Prince Philip at all. I don't care about any of the royals, honestly. Like, sorry if you do. I don't. Like, they're a family that lives in a different country, and I just don't really care.
Yeah, it was a whole different thing. I mean,
but yeah, since we're talking about this, I just got to tell you about the craziness that happened to me from the gas station dude. And okay, yeah, this gas just station dude sounds weird. So I'm a delivery driver. I walk into a gas station. I'm making a delivery there, and he starts it off, has customers in line that he's helping, but he knows who I am, and he's just been waiting.
Because you frequent here on your route. Okay.
And he's just been waiting to talk to somebody about this. And I walk in, and he goes, another piece of feces died today. He said it like that. I'm not censoring anything. That's how he said it. And I'm just like, oh, yeah? And he goes, yeah, Prince Philip. And I'm just like, oh, dang, he was a piece of feces, huh? Like, I don't know about him. Like, I'm just, trying to run with the conversation, not really trying to get into a conversation, but just like, oh, crazy. Yeah, he's a piece of shit, I guess, huh? And then he goes, yeah, in 88, like, what? Just knows the year.
Guy's a fucking 100 years old when he dies. And this guy's back in 88.
He's like, in 88, he said that he wanted to be reincarnated as a deadly virus so he could take down some of the world's population. And he's just like, so a lot of people want to be reincarnated as something nice. He wanted to be a deadly virus. What a piece of feces. And I'm just like, yeah, dude, that is crazy. I didn't know that about him. And I'm trying to be like, this is the end of the conversation. I'm leaving now, Yep. I didn't say that, but it was like, yeah, man, that's nuts. Like, and I'm trying to walk out the door. And he goes, he had a crazy life, and a lot of those guys, they don't know what it's like living, and that's why they get into all this pedophilia and stuff. And I'm like, oh shit, yeah, fucking kids, that's not cool. And
then like trying to walk out the door.
Yeah, and then he's like, yeah, and then they would have all these orgies and stuff, and they would have they'd just go crazy, and then they would have all these bastard kids and stuff because they wouldn't really care, and they'd just be having these sex orgies and stuff. And he'd be like, and he said, like me and you, guys like me and you, mind you, still customers in line, guys like me and you, we have, sex for pleasure and stuff, but they have it as a ritual. And I'm like, oh, dang, man. And he go, I know. I'm having a hard time keeping it together because it was so crazy. I just laughed at myself when I got back to the truck. But he goes, yeah, they have it as a ritual, and it's it's just trying to. It's like their religion, and he's actually got a group of people in Papua New Guinea that they worship him as a god, and I'm just like, okay. And then he goes. Yeah, so these bastard kids and stuff, they grow up, and then to keep them quiet, they become the stars and the politicians that we see today. And I'm like, oh, dang, we're getting into some deep, like conspiracy theory shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't say that. I'm just like, that's nuts, man. And then, I'm not kidding,
He's still going.
He prints out a little bit of his receipt paper and grabs a pen, and he goes, you know John Podesta? And I'm like, the name sounds familiar, you know, like not trying to be like, no, and not trying to be like, oh, I know exactly who he is. I just go, yeah, the name sounds familiar. And then he goes, well, he was going to be the Secretary of State if Hillary Clinton got in. And his actual son, like not that anybody knows about it. I can't remember how he said it. He was like, his son by blood was Chester Bennington, the lead singer of Linkin Park. And I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. And he's like, yeah, and Chester was going to spill the beans on their orgies and stuff, and that's why they killed him, but they said that he committed suicide. And I have a note in front of me that says John Podesta, Chester Bennington, and then he underlined Chester and wrote Linkin Park, and he's like, look it up. And then he says, I'm gonna poison your day, when he handed me that piece of paper.
What the fuck,
and then I'm just
double checking the seal on the top of your Mountain Dew while you're checking out. Like, Jesus Christ, what does he mean poison my day? What the fuck is this guy talking about?
Yeah. So yeah, John Podesta is the father of Chester Bennington, and he was murdered to stop people from learning about their famous person, pedophile, sex orgy, bastard.
This is a casual conversation with a gas station attendant.
This is less than a casual conversation. This is a straight, like, he was just berating me with weird facts. I was just trying to leave, and he's like, no, you're not leaving yet, motherfucker. I gotta
While
tell you.
While people are waiting, they're having to hear all of this.
While people are waiting.
And you're like halfway out the door. You've already paid. You're like, okay.
Yeah, there's another dude that was like, there's another dude that's like paying. He's still checking people out, so they're paying. But they're all like straight faced, just like looking forward. I'm looking at them smiling, like, what is this all about? They're just like maintaining no eye contact with anybody, because they must have been here before. They're just like, if I look at him, he's gonna talk to me.
They already know the routine.
Yeah. So that's my crazy story, where I'm just sitting there trying to leave, and then as soon as I left, I just had to regroup in the truck. I literally pulled the truck forward out of like his eyesight and then stopped again just to go, what the fuck was that? Jesus, man.
Oh my God. Oh, all right, dude. Well,
so yeah, so Prince Philip died, and he's a piece of feces.
Yeah, apparently.
I guess. I don't know anything about
anything about the guy. All right. Well, that's crazy ketchup.
Yeah, so
let's keep moving.
that's my day.
All right. On to other things. Let's talk about so May. We're gonna do some big shit in May. We're working on some shit in the background right now. So stay tuned. Please share Real AF TV with your friends. We are on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and all of that stuff. If you just look us up, REELAF TV. Look us up, find us. Please share with your friends. We are going to do something in May. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but we've been talking about it, Tim. And we're going to do some shit.
It sounded like... never mind. It kind of sounded like you said douche at first,
douche?
But it doesn't make any sense. We're some douche-em-it. We're gonna do some it.
And yeah. So I just wanted to put that out there. A little housekeeping off the top, even though we're 15 minutes in, damn near.
Right. Sorry.
May is
story.
Yeah, when we're up here in the May times, it's that's when fishing really kicks off. So we're gonna kind of do some things for Real AF TV, kick some shit off. So please share with your friends. Keep an eye on all our social medias, whichever one you use, we are there. Interact with us and, maybe try to figure out what the fuck we're going to do, but we'll announce it. And the water's open where we are now. And I still have not cast, but I've been by a couple bodies of water that make me go, well, should have brought the gear today.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yeah, I definitely want to get out there. I mean, technically we can, in the area that we both live in, we can only target panfish. Well, and like catfish and shit. If you wanted to do that, we can't technically try to catch walleyes or bass or anything. If you do, it's not your fault. You didn't try.
But you can't be out there targeting them.
Right. Yeah. Like if you're casting out like a big, Rapala tail dancer or whatever, and they come over and say, what's that all about? And you're just like, sometimes crappie like to bite a bait that's just as big as they are. So, I know you guys might not know about this, but I got a YouTube channel, so I know what I'm talking about. It's not a big deal.
That's right. If you just go to YouTube and you look up REELAF TV, you find us. Like and subscribe. Click the bell.
Bling, bling, bling.
All right, man. Let's get into fishing. We got a tough topic. Like I said at the beginning, I think I say a tough topic because we talked about worms for half an hour, so I guess I'm not super worried about it, generally speaking. But I picked this one, so it's Giant Salvinia.
Yeah, I'm interested. Yeah. I've never heard of it. It sounds like some sort of a strand of weed.
It is. Actually, it's a really weird looking weed, dude. When I looked it up, so I looked up from several sources, and I'll just try to cite them as I go through. But there were a few of the several sources that I looked at. The description of it was it doesn't even really have a stem. And when you look it up, and I think what I'm going to do, there's on the dock here, Tim, you can, if you have the dock open, you can see it.
Yeah. I do see it. It's weird looking.
It's very weird looking. There's these huge leaves, but they're also small and they're super compact. That's what I mean by they said it didn't even really have a stem. It's almost just like the root. Anyways, don't need to get into that part of it. What we do, the reason why I'm not going to get into that part is because I think what we need to do is just put something up on the Instagram page, even, grab a credit or grab something off the internet, credit it, because it's the best way to describe it visually. It's these clusters of leaves off of a tiny thin piece of grass, almost, is the way that it looks when you get it out of the water.
Okay.
And how I came about this was, Real AF TV follows basically the weather and across the country, and I got targeted an article. And it was a local one, the Corpus Christi Channel 6 from Texas, which I was surprised. I was like, holy shit. That's like someone in Texas getting, a local Channel 4 news station from up here in the Twin Cities.
Right.
So I was really weird. So anyways, how I got it was based on weather. And we talk about invasive species here a lot. I do, I guess. No, I don't mean to take all the wind out of the whole thing and take credit for the invasive species thing.
Well, you shouldn't. just so you guys know, I'm the one that did it all. Everybody's just gonna be like, "What the fuck, Dick? Clean your boat."
So how it came up was because, do you remember back in February when Texas was freezing its ass off?
Yes,
basically,
dude. Yeah, I remember. So there was if you're listening to this podcast, there's a good chance that you're familiar with some of the Guggen Squad guys.
Oh,
they're pretty famous YouTube fishing. It's made up a number of different dudes, but there's one of the guys in the Guggen Squad posted on his page that he made the local news down there because he's from Minnesota, I believe, and he went down there and he was ice fishing in Texas, and the local news was just like, "You're ice fishing here?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're first time ever." And there's
No
another, yeah,
way.
there's another YouTuber, Weston Smith. He was fishing, like ice fishing. It was thin ice where they were like walking out and breaking holes, not using augers and stuff. But
Okay.
it was thick enough ice that they could actually go stand on it.
Thick enough to stand on, but yeah, they were just using
I mean, they could have used
picks
an
to
auger,
bust
but
their.
like, none of these guys had augers. They didn't bring augers to Texas,
When you take a fishing trip to Texas, assuming that's what they were doing because they're the Guggen Squad, yeah, why would you? Why
You don't
would you
even bring a
have
fucking coat.
for real? That's no joke.
Yeah. And then they're just like, anybody remember the auger? You're just like, what did you just say? We're in Texas.
You're just on the drive down, you're realizing like, oh shit, should have brought the coat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should have brought my boots, my overalls, like my real deal keeping warm shit.
Right. Yeah. Like, I don't know if you've ever driven south from up north, like on a vacation or whatever, but like every state you get lower and you get out to like get gas or whatever, you're like, oh man, this is what I'm talking about. And you get a little bit lower and it gets warmer and you're getting out and you're like, whoa, this is like 80s now. This is nuts.
It's
and
so wild.
And then you just like keep driving and they go all the way down to Texas and they must have got out and been like, do we go the wrong direction? What is this all about, man?
That's so funny. Because during that time, they were getting a real winter. That's the thing, right? It's like it was real deal winter temperatures during that. It was from February 13th through the 17th, according to Wikipedia. And if you think about that, well, of course they were having ice fishing, like they were able to ice fish because when you have real winter for essentially what amounts to a week, that's all it takes, man.
Yeah, but you have to have, it still has to be like a solid amount of time. It's not like, the temperatures can just drop and it freezes over instantly. Like they still had to have, it probably took like 2 days for them to get ice. And there's like, what's this? And by like the third day, they're like, oh, this is getting solid. And the fourth day, they're like, we can walk on this shit. This is nuts.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I mean. That's like this is a real winter. When you have it for that long, that's a real winter. And that's when you look at that and you go, well, that's how they were ice fishing. I mean, they were, it was crazy. At one point, Austin, Texas was colder than Anchorage, Alaska.
Dude, that's insane.
That was the coldest in 55 years, or the deepest snow in 55 years in Austin. And it was colder than Alaska at one point during this.
That's crazy. That's
Isn't that
just
nuts.
That's super nuts. Like I don't even know what to say, man.
Right, I know.
I feel like the people in Alaska are just like, oh man, I could go on a vacation to Texas, and they're just like, it's actually colder there than it is here right now, and you're like, what? Where the hell did we escape to, man?
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing is like this is all the story. Like this is the story I was given, right? That it was by a local Texas channel, basically talking about the big freeze, and we have to talk about the big freeze because that's what brought my attention to the giant salvinia, and well, it's also known as caraba weed. Cariba. I didn't look that one up because whatever. It's just a different name for it. But the whole reason why all of this needs to be brought up is because Alabama, Texas, Louisiana, all of those southern states down there. So you got to assume this New York Times article that I read, they didn't say Mississippi, but it had to have been, right? If Alabama and all that, you got to think it hit Mississippi too. They all have a problem with this giant salvinia. The nice thing about this giant salvinia here, shit's from South America. It's from Brazil. That's its native place that it comes from. So sure, gets brought in from a super warm tropical environment, whereas it'll spread down south, right? Like what's that? It's not that big of a difference. The weather's warm and it's a crazy invasive species. Like it breeds really fast. We'll get into that more, but that freeze hit it hard, which is a good thing, man. Like finally, like how it was a shitty, and that's the thing I don't want to gloss over here. You know, millions of people were without power. People died, car accidents everywhere, you know, tons of damage done. This front sucked.
Yeah. Yeah. There was, I mean, that they had like an ice storm or whatever, and that was gnarly. Because, I mean, those people probably never know, like, they have no idea what it's like.
Right.
You know, when you get hit with some shit like that out of the blue, that's just devastating. You're not ready for any of that stuff. You know, everything here, we're built for it because we know half of our year is going to be shitty. We're all ready for it. You can't prepare for something you don't see coming.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, when it's only 5 days out of the year, you know, it's kind of like, what the hell? What is going on here? And in 55 years, the deepest snow in 55 years, it's like, people, what? You're not ready for that. 55 years goes by. Shit goes by after a week and you forget about the weather, right? Like the sun's up all day now here, basically, because we're so far north. And you forget about the fact that just 2 months ago, the sun was down before you got home for dinner. And now it's still up when you go to bed.
Right. Yeah. But there was a point in time where I worked in a factory and I felt like a vampire. Like the only time I would go outside was when it was dark.
Sure.
I'd go to work and it was dark, and then I'd get done with work and it was dark, and you're just like, you know, there's no windows in the place. You're just like, when am I ever going to see the sun again? But yeah, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah. And people are probably also asking, like, what does this have to do with fishing? And like, why is this a fishing topic? And because again, weather, what do we always say about the weather when it comes to fishing, Tim?
It's important. I don't know what you were looking for there.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You got to be basically an amateur. Like, it has to be one of the things you're good at. We've said that multiple times. Like, you have to pay attention to the weather to fish. That's exactly it. It's important. It's important to fishing.
It's a big deal.
So it's that part that it's tying into weather, but also this shit is fucking up the water so bad. You can't fish it. It's so thick. If we're going to post a photo on Instagram, we're just going to have to. I'll get one for Twitter. We'll look at the Twitter and the Facebook pages and the Instagram pages. We'll post this a photo. It's so goddamn thick that you just can't fish. It's impossible.
Yeah, to fish it. Looking at the picture, it looks like those weird cactuses. Like
it does look like a cactus.
Like the cheap little cactuses where like they're just different colors at the, you know, in the bottom of the plant is just like covered. You don't see anything except for these weird little colored plants.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. It's like shoulder to shoulder leaves. There's no room for anything. Like
there's no room. Like you can't even see water basically. Yeah. It's so goddamn thick. It's just plant on top of water.
I've literally never heard of this stuff before tonight. And if you wouldn't have told me that was like a seaweed, aquatic, I wouldn't have known that it was even on water. And also, I want to clarify that when I was saying it sounds like a weed, I didn't mean like a seaweed. I meant like it sounds like
a strain of marijuana.
Yes.
It totally does.
Yeah. It sounds like somebody would just walk up to you in a Walmart parking lot and and just be like, you know, what was it called again? Hey man, you wanna get down on a little bit of this Giant Salvinia I got? Salvinia. I got some of that Giant Salvinia, bro.
It totally does sound like that.
Yeah, it's a weird name, man.
It is, and that's also part of why it caught my attention, because I was like, yeah, what the fuck is this? When you see that on your phone, you kind of go like, what's going on down there again?
Right.
And so to keep it about fishing, there is actually a campaign by the U.S., not the U.S. Jesus, come on, Josh, get it together here. It's a huge problem in Texas. So it's the Texas it's what we call the DNR up here, Department
Yeah.
of Natural Resources. That's what DNR stands for.
Yep.
They have a larger name for their DNR. So I'll just call them DNR for simple to keep it simple. Yeah.
I thought
they
that
have
was
a
like
different
a
name. It's like
universal term.
see, I thought that too. But then you start to follow all these things on Twitter and you're like, oh, that's why I can't find Maryland DNR, because they don't go by the DNR. And maybe it is a universal term. Please, anybody, if you're with the DNR at our DNR here in Minnesota, or if you're with a different wildlife management in a different state, please write in to us. Hit us up on Twitter or Instagram, DM us, something like that. I'd love to talk to you, first of all, about this more, the Giant Salvinia, and how it is impacting your fishing in the area. But
do you know what they call themselves down in Texas then? I'm just curious.
Actually, I do. It's Texas Parks and Wildlife. Like it's just the Parks and Wildlife Department.
That makes sense, because that's what I was thinking about with we're the Department of Natural Resources, because we have 1 million lakes and they're all just natural. A lot of their stuff down there is man-made. So maybe they were just like, it just sounds weird. Well,
sure.
We're not really natural. We kind of dug all these holes. You think we should call ourselves natural?
Filled them up.
Yeah, we filled them up. I put all these fish in here. That ain't natural. Just like, whatever, Jed. We'll call it the Department of Parks and Wildlife or whatever. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
So they have a campaign where they're talking directly to fishers, and they're saying, you gotta be careful of this shit. It's super invasive. Now, the storm front that moved in wiped out 95% in Louisiana and 90% in Texas, according to the Channel 6 article, or Channel 6 article that I talked about in the beginning. And then I caught an AP article about Louisiana. I just kind of combined them together. So think about that. An invasive species, 95 to 90% got taken out. Like, how fucking, that's great. But
yeah, that is super awesome.
Yeah.
But like, how did it get to that in the first place?
Somebody brought it in. They imported it from Brazil or South America somewhere in the 90s. And the shit, dude, doubles in size in just 4 to 10 days.
Jesus Christ. So hopefully they got it down to a manageable level where they can try to make it disappear. How does a plant grow that fast?
I know, dude, right? And that's exactly the craziest thing. So this Texas A&M article that I got that from said that it doubles in size in 4 to 10 days. And so when we were talking about how thick it was, right?
Yeah.
Think about that. It's just blocking out fucking lakes, basically, or reservoirs, like you said before. They're digging their lakes, call them reservoirs. They're blocking those out, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna kill all the other plant life for sure, because it's just gonna take away the sun from everything else. They won't be able to get through. That's nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Just to think, I mean, can you even imagine that? Like, you could put a video camera on it and watch it grow without a time lapse. You could just watch it grow.
That's such a good fucking point, dude. I didn't even think about it that way, and I shoot time lapse shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
With a time lapse, people would just be like, you can slow that down a little bit, and just be like, literally slowing it down is just real time. I can't do it any slower. This is as slow as I could go and make it still be visible. I tried to time lapse it like normal, and all of a sudden there's just plants everywhere. It was like
took over my camera.
It was like a magic trick. It was just like poop. There it was.
And now for my next trick.
Poof.
What the fuck?
Magicians start using it inside the hats and stuff. Literally, it's just like a seed at the beginning, and they just like turn it over, and there's nothing, and then they put a little bit of water in the hat, and they're like, hey, 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 and then they turn it over, and there's a bunch of plants. Just like, wow, that is, bring it on that Penn and Teller Fool Us show. They're like, we have no idea how you did that. And he's just like, hey, it's actually just a plant. just grew that fast.
Just rapidly growing plant. It did that before your eyes.
It's like a chia pet, except for like you don't have to wait months.
You just wait hours.
Poof. There we go. Chia, get on that thing, man. Turn, get it out of the water. Like, put all your, dollars to, I don't know, is chia worth any money anymore? I know that they make like zombies now. They make like zombie chias.
And Scooby-Doo chias.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Scooby-Doo had an afro in that one episode from the 70s. Like, how does this even work?
Chia just tries to capitalize on it. Just like, you seen that one episode? He's got an afro. That's what we're going for. Use your money, Chia. Use your resources. Go scoop up all those plants, get the seeds, breed them or whatever, and then put them on your plant. And
use all that chia money to start making Giant Salvinia.
Yeah, to make something that's like actually exciting for the kids, so they can actually watch it grow. Not a month later, they see like, oh, it's got some stuff on it finally. Now that I'm completely over this thing.
Now that I'm bored with this goddamn thing. So Salvinia. Yeah, that works. It works.
Giant Salvinia.
There, we even wrote your fucking jingle. Get on it, Chia.
Yeah. Put us in the credits.
Just credit us, that's all.
Yep, we need the credits.
Oh man. So I was looking at this article from the USDA actually. It said it gets so thick that small animals can fucking walk on it, dude.
Oh. That means that the bugs can travel through that shit. Nobody's swimming in that lake. Well, maybe. I'm not.
No.
That.
I would not do that.
Never.
But could you, small animals walk across it? Like, what the fuck? And down there, you got to remember, there's like a lot of reptile life, right? It's warm.
Yep.
So there's probably just fucking lizards ripping across that shit. It's just like, that's fucked up. And of course, so that's the problem. Like you kind of already alluded to a little bit earlier, is it's so thick, it blocks out the sun. Boom. Oxygen levels. What's next?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Fish kill.
Oh yeah, it's gonna kill out the fish. Sorry, I was laughing about like I was just picturing. You ever seen those lizards that can run super fast on their back legs and they run across the water?
That's where you were when I set you up for fish kill.
Yeah.
You just were watching that little fucking lizard in your head.
Well, I was just picturing that, like it used to be able to run across the water and like look at the other animals thinking that they're hot shit, and now the other animals can look back at it and just be like, oh, and just run across the plants. Just like, oh, it's a special lizard. Sorry.
In your face.
Yeah, I was just, he does it and then they look at him and just do the exact same thing. It's just like, oh, who's hot shit now? Sorry, I was trying to pay attention. I'm just over here cracking myself up. Yes, but yeah, fish kill. Yeah, no, it definitely. I don't know if it would fish kill because it's gonna have a lot of oxygen.
Oh no, it fish kills. Like
it does for sure.
Oh, it does fish kill. Yeah. It's so thick, dude, and it blocks out so much oxygen. Is
it just on the surface or is it like go down?
You know what? That's a really good question. I do not have stats on whether or not it, like how deep it is when it grows or anything like that. I actually do not have that, unfortunately. But I can say this: when it is almost like a vine from what I've seen in photos. So it has to be growing from the bottom up. It's just I don't know how thick it is when it's actually under the water, because the big focus is on all of this stuff. The big focus is how thick it gets when it gets to the top, because you can't cast into that. You can't, you get caught on it. It totally fucks your fishing day up. It gets caught on your boat. It's all of that surface level stuff. It didn't, all the stuff that I was looking up didn't really get into what's happening underneath the water so much as like it grows in sandy bottoms. I'm like, I didn't even write that down.
Yeah.
It's a lake. What the fuck
Dude,
else is going to be down there?
Right. I was just thinking about it. Like, you can't even fish topwater on that if it's that thick. There's nothing you could do about it, man.
Right.
You could get like the heavy jigs to try to punch it through, but if small animals can walk on it, that's still not even going to work. I'm still kind of surprised that it would kill off fish, but I'm sure that there's some sort of a science to it, because most of the time plants will still provide a lot of oxygen, and they don't necessarily need to have light. Like, they can hide underneath the light all the time, but yeah, dude,
it must be that
nuts.
thick underwater. I mean, that's a Texas A&M article that I read. That was just like, yeah,
maybe it's just stopping food from entering.
Sure.
You know, you got your bait fish and stuff, and once those are gone, I don't know, because that's all like stocked ponds and stuff. I don't even know if they naturally reproduce. I mean, you think that they would. I shouldn't say that all of them are, but the majority of the stuff down in Texas is reservoirs. They don't even, I mean, they're listed as lakes, but they're technically reservoirs because they're all man-made.
Right. Yeah. Just like you were talking about earlier, it's basically just dug a hole, or it was an old quarry or something like that.
Yeah, dude. That's nuts. That sucks.
Yeah, man. So hopefully, I mean, because Texas is a huge fishing state. I mean, now you look up anything when it comes to fishing, and I think we've already talked about it way back in some of the very like first single digit episodes of when you look up the way the internet is trending, you're like, who's looking at fishing? Texas is always in the top 5. It's a big fishing state.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they have some real famous big fishing. You know, there's a couple of. I mean, one of the Guggen Squad guys is called the Lake Fork guy, and that's a famous lake in Texas, and he calls himself that because he literally just fishes this giant, like ridiculously good fishery in Texas. Like they just produce big old bass. Like the Bassmasters are always fishing that lake. I don't know if they hit it every year, but
I mean, it's one of them. It's one of them that they hit and they get some. I would say it's probably a good one.
There's even
probably makes good footage.
Yeah, there's even a series of like lures and stuff, or maybe just soft plastics.
Okay,
but they're like, I can't remember if it's just called Lake Fork or the Lake whatever, but it's literally like the Lake Fork plastics.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
I knew Texas was big on fishing, but I didn't know that they like got into that. I mean, we have good fishing, and some people outside of the state may even recognize things like Lake Mille Lacs and, you know, our bigger bodies of water. But I've never heard of them having a like nationwide lure named after them, or bait, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah. For the bass community, because that's what they're into down there. That's, you know, they have other fishing and stuff, but I think the most part for freshwater, they're going after, I think bass, and then crappie for freshwater is probably number 2.
Okay.
And then they also have access to the ocean, so they got some good saltwater fishing down there too.
Oh yeah, for sure. With like, especially down in the Houston area and stuff like that, I would guess. Like, I mean, I guess Houston would probably be the big fly-into spot, and then you go towards the coast more.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never been to. I've been to Texas once, but I didn't get a chance to go fishing or nothing, so I don't know exactly where all the you know the saltwater stuff is.
Okay,
but,
sure.
Yeah, I would be willing to guess literally anywhere along the coast, you probably got a good chance of catching something.
Yeah, for sure. And do you ever, because we have the spawn coming up, we're open water now down here.
Yep.
Probably the majority of the state. Who knows? Weather's weird, especially in the north as we're on that curve, man. But anyways, do do you use some of that stuff then? Like as the spawn's coming up here, is it like I have a few fork? What is it? Lake Fork? Lake?
Yeah, I never Lake Fork. Yeah, Lake Fork is what it is.
Lake
But I
Fork. Yeah.
can't
Do you have
remember.
any in your box when you're out there?
Nah. Well, I mean, I use like I would have soft plastics and stuff, but I don't have any of the Lake Fork stuff. I just know of them. I've never bought any of that stuff, but
sure,
they make some good lures. They have some good. I saw some like good swim baits and stuff from them that look pretty good. But yeah, not what I'm throwing during the spawn, but they definitely could be used in the spawn, just not what I have.
Sure. Yeah. No, for sure. And that's a whole different topic. That's for damn sure. So, guys, when you're out there, everybody, and I mean guys in the gender neutral term, come on, it's 2021.
Yeah, whatever. Get out of your chicks. No, I'm just kidding.
But you know, invasive species, man, they're horrible. These are fucking up our game out there in Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, all those spots. So check your boat. That's the big thing that the Texas
yes
wildlife and parks and wildlife. Sorry, so the big thing that the Texas Parks and Wildlife things are saying, and we have it up here with our zebra mussels and shit like that. Is check the damn boat. Get that shit in the garbage because it's gonna fuck up your fishing day a different time if you're not taking care of it now. And that's the big thing here that I wanna kind of close on, wrap on here is like we gotta take care of this shit as fishers. Like, and I say that because like, dude, we have a spread going out of zebra mussels here. This plant sounds fucking horrible. Got to help it out. Got to do your part.
Yeah, we got the zebra mussels and the Eurasian milfoil are both big problems. And yeah, I don't know if it's the same slogan down south, but everywhere you will see signs that say "Stop aquatic hitchhikers."
Oh yeah,
because they don't want you bringing the stuff hitchhiking from your boat to the next lake. That is how the spread happens, because there's not, I don't know how it happened initially. You would assume that it'd be something like that, to get it to go from a different continent to all of a sudden it's in our lakes. Like, how did this happen? But that's how it spreads from lakes to lake here, is that you'll have one little thing and then they spread, and zebra mussels are real tiny. So you got to be careful for those. Like, they can hide good. So clean them up because they multiply like nuts. It's ridiculous. If you ever been to a lake that has like Mille Lacs has the zebra mussels, if there's something that's fell to the bottom of the lake and you find it down the road, it will just be covered. Like, good luck even finding it, because it's just gonna look like a clump of zebra mussels.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And if you drop something on a lake that's infested with giant Salvinia, it's your phone. Don't worry, it'll land on top and you can grab it off because it's so thick. You can just pick up your phone.
We're glass half full kind of guys here.
That's a great note to end on. We're a glass half full kind of podcast here. So, Tim, we are going to talk about blockbusters here in part 2, but of course we have to take our break in between these. So we're going to do that and then come back and talk about the theatrical releases at home / some delays if we get to it. But, whatever. Blockbusters took a weird turn and not the store like we talked about last week.
Yeah,
2 weeks ago. Remember, we're a fortnightly podcast.
They were worse. Yeah, they were worse than a weird turn. They were just a left turn to cancel. Not canceled, just done. Bye.
Yeah.
There goes Blockbuster.
Yeah, not these blockbusters. This is a different. This I'm talking about like big movie releases. So let's take the break. We'll come back, do the random take, talking about movies at home, big movies at home. All right, hit it.
In a world ravaged by a pandemic, where many people are now turning to the internet to listen, not to listen, yes, but also to listen. We're a podcast. People are listening. Jesus fucking Christ, get your shit together. Everyone these days is turning to streaming platforms. Hulu, HBO Max, all the other ones. This isn't an ad, I promise. Attendance at theaters are down. Did you want movie theater popcorn? Well, fuck you. Have you guys seen Stranger Things? That one's on Netflix. I especially loved the one episode where there was the girl, and then she was like, whoosh, and then the boy, he was also like, what? And then everybody was like, oh, yeah. Spoiler alert. And now, coming back from the break, Josh and Tim are going to be talking about all that weird shit I just said. Josh, Tim, take it away.
Welcome back to the Real AF TV podcast, the show about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. We're going to be talking about Blockbuster Video, not the store, Blockbuster Videos. Why do I call them videos? Is because goddamn, man, big movies are hitting streaming platforms and not going to theaters. Or if they're going to theaters, I don't know where the hell they're going.
Right.
They're avoiding the theaters. That's what's happening. COVID be pushing movies out of the theaters. Now there's some that just decided to delay entirely. Well, I don't want to get into that right now because really I want to keep it about the streaming platforms. I don't know how many you have. We have Disney Plus.
I have a lot.
You have HBO?
I do. That one came through my phone. Like that was unintentional, just kind of cool.
Nice.
I have AT&T and like
I think Verizon was doing a deal with them too.
Yeah. So what we had was something else I can't even remember. And then all of a sudden AT&T just one day like hit us up, email style. Yep. Hey, you have HBO Max now. And I'm just like, what did you say? Dope. So I immediately binged all of Game of Thrones because I've never seen any of it.
Yep.
And then now I'm on The Sopranos.
Yep. Talked about that.
Yep.
Go back to other episodes. Tim's keeping up on The Sopranos.
But so yeah, I got the HBO Max. We did watch the Wonder Woman movie because that was one of them. Big Blockbuster. I don't even have to pay nothing for it. Like HBO Max is just like, yeah, you just get this for free. Right now I can watch King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty pumped about that. But I'm really pumped about the in a week the Mortal Kombat game is coming. The Mortal Kombat movie is coming out, and I am so excited for that because Mortal Kombat. Get over here! It looks
in the trailer when he does that shit, dude.
Oh, it looks so legit. Like
so fucking good.
They made it look like a real, like they're more realistic than they would be in some of the old stupid movies. They tried to give them a realistic feel, but it was like real dumb where
it was too low budget, dude. That's like my main thing. Like you look at Liu Kang's pants back in the original one and you're like, dude, this fucking jank ass pants that they picked up at fucking Goodwill. Sweet sweatpants, Liu Kang.
Yeah, it just got MC Hammer's old hand-me-downs.
They just took all the fucking shine off of them.
Right. Well, that was just natural. Just like MC Hammer had him a long time ago, and then he just his way into Dole pants,
and they fell off.
The sheen just wore off from all the sideways dancing. And then the other thing that really bugged me all the time was Mortal Kombat was a mature rated video game. Anybody that ever played Mortal Kombat knew it was gnarly from the beginning.
Blood, 100%.
And then all of a sudden they're just like, you guys think we should make these movies PG-13? They're just like, no, why? Well, the kids are going to be watching them. The same ones that are playing the fucking video games, just that learning the cheat codes to just watch fatalities all day. Like, I just want to see all the fatalities. Just that's it. I just want to see them all fucking die. And then they're just like, yeah, but we should clean it up and not show blood and guts and gore. And you're just like, that's what this franchise is.
Right. Embrace it.
And they never did. And now this one is like rated R. And they're just like, yeah, we're going to kill some fucking people in this movie. And you're just like, it's about damn time. I am so ready for this movie.
30 years? Jesus Christ. Let's fucking go.
Yes. It's so ridiculous how it is always pissed me off that they never did that, to just make like a dumbed down PG-13 version of what everybody was expecting,
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And that's my My cousin Jeremy hit me up. We used to play Mortal Kombat together all the time, and he's got HBO Max. He basically said the same shit, that he was just like, finally a Mortal Kombat movie that is looking like it's going to be Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
Modeled after the game, after what the franchise is. And I actually hear the game is crazy good at telling a story right now. You played the most recent one, didn't you?
Not the most recent one, no.
Okay.
The one before that, I think. But yeah, it has like a legitimate storyline where it's not just, like back in the day, all the games back in the day were like that, where you just had to like go into the book and read the story.
Right. Yeah. There
You
wasn't
just
enough memory to tell the whole story.
Yeah, the fighting one, the story mode, you just progress through the tower and eventually get to the Shao Kahn.
Yeah.
But now they have like a legitimate, you're going from one place to the other and they're telling you a story, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're fighting, And I think this one, the last one I played, the story mode, you didn't choose one character to go through.
Oh,
the whole really? Maybe it did have different stories. I thought you kind of played through the storyline and all of a sudden you are like one of the characters that they're, progressing along in the story. So you have to fight as this character fighting this other character and, beat it to move on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, we might do a whole random take on this movie once it comes out. I don't have HBO, but I can definitely figure out how to get it.
Oh yeah.
Do my 7-day trial or some shit like that.
Right. Can't be hard. But yeah, we got HBO. We have Netflix, which we just got like 2 weeks ago because my son watched the second Crude's movie.
Yeah, that was another one.
Place. Oh, dope movie, man.
Such a limited release. Like, oh my God. I remember that movie coming out because we have the first one, and it's a decent movie. It's whatever. It's a DreamWorks movie. And it came out and it was what it was, and we have it. We had the Blu-ray and whatever. We pop it on every once in a while. And I remember the second one getting some decent marketing going into the start of COVID-19. And it got bumped, and then it finally just came out. And I have no idea actually where that landed on streaming platforms. You're probably about to tell me.
Oh, no, I don't even know. I rented it on Redbox.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it was just like all of a sudden the Blu-ray dropped and I'm like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah. It was crazy fast. All of a sudden they're just like, the Blu-ray is out. And I was like, what? Yeah. All right, let's watch it. Yeah, so I mean, I didn't watch it with them. They watched it at the in-laws' place, and I was not with that weekend. But then after he saw that, he came home, and he's almost 3 years old, and the only thing he could remember and was hyped on was the belt. There's a sloth in that thing. Ryan Reynolds' character,
yep.
Who's named Guy, has a sloth who holds up his pants, and he's like, I call him Belt.
The sloth's name is Belt.
And then I was just like, if you like Belt, dude, he's got a super big role in the first one. And then we, looked into where we could find it, and it was on Netflix. So I'm like, well, okay, I'm getting Netflix again. So we watched that. And then I watched the second one, and I actually like them both a lot. And I think that the second one is better than the first one.
Oh, wow. I did not see that coming. I hated the trailer. I was like, this movie's going to be fucking garbage.
Oh, so, have you not seen it?
No, we haven't watched it yet because the way it dropped, like, again, it wasn't on. I didn't see any streaming platforms. I didn't, like, we just saw it in the Target ad one day and was like, what the fuck? This is out on physical media already. Where in the hell was the theatrical release? When was the stream release? And that was the real question, right? It's like, when did this come out? And I'm not even kidding when I say this. I'm not just saying it for the podcast to like the topic. I mean it for real. It's like because Netflix has a deal with the DreamWorks. They make cartoons.
Oh,
like the Crude's cartoon is on Netflix. It's funded. It's a Netflix original made by DreamWorks.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's not in the same style. It's a cartoon. It's not the same voice actors. It's totally that 90s spin-off type shit that we're used to.
Right, yeah, I know what you're talking about the cartoon, but I did not know that was like a Netflix exclusive thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as far as I know, I've never seen it on Hulu or anything. And I think, and it goes boom, boom every time it fucking boots up.
Oh, yeah. Boom.
Which you're used to by now, even because you've had Netflix for 2 weeks.
Yep. And every time you turn it on, boom. Yeah. But no, I mean, just for anybody out there, it's all personal opinion, but IMDb, I think, gave the first Croods like 7.6 out of 10 and the second one 7 out of 10. And I remember when we finished the movie, like, I mean, take this with a grain of salt, and everybody thinks, you know, when they hear it, they're going to think that it's the greatest thing at all time and you're going to get let down. But I literally turned to Shannon after the movie was over and I said, that might be one of the best sequels I've ever seen.
Huh.
Like, normally sequels suck, and they added a couple of new characters and just made it a completely new story. And I was very pleased with it. Where the first one, you know, like you said, with the trailer and stuff, and then just the whole storyline. The first one is them leaving the cave, and all of a sudden, like, their whole world basically falls apart. So I'm like, well, where do they go from here?
Yeah.
And it's still kind of the same progression. They're looking for tomorrow.
Wow. I'm surprised. We're definitely going to check it out now because, like I said, we enjoy the first one. So,
yeah,
interesting.
I really, really enjoyed it.
So to go back to Netflix, or to keep on the Netflix topic, do you remember the interview?
Yep. Yeah.
The Seth movie. The Seth. Yeah. Okay, so
I remember how controversial that thing was when it first came out.
And the reason why I'm bringing that up and why I put it on the doc to talk about is because it's from 2014. And that was really, I think, personally, when Netflix became Netflix, when streaming became streaming, when it was like, by the way, we're not just streaming other people's shit. Like, we're making our own shit. We're moving. We're making shit happen over here, right? Like, you need to take us seriously. And that movie, I feel like, was Sony testing the waters for the first time, because that whole hacking thing, that's what the controversy that you were talking about, like the hacking. Oh yeah, we got hacked by North Koreans and they released our emails and stuff like that. And it's like, really?
Right.
Is that really what happened?
Right.
Everybody kind of questioned it. And that movie went straight out. It got delayed and stuff like that, which is actually kind of really relevant to the topic. It delayed a few times, you know, because of it was about assassinating a world leader, and they were starting to get some feedback about that. And so they were like maybe doing some edits, and, you know, there were things going on in the background that the public didn't really know about, and it kept getting pushed. And then they finally dropped it on December 24th on streaming services, and like everywhere, basically. It just like came out, and it was like sort of in theaters and not in theaters, and they just let it go. And then a month later, they put it on Netflix. You could buy it, you could rent it from like the PlayStation Network or Xbox or Google or YouTube, you know, which is YouTube. You could get it there, and you could rent it, and you could pay. It was a more premium price. If I remember, it was like $20 or something like that. And that was to rent it. You didn't buy it even.
Right.
They only put it out as rental, if I'm remembering correctly. I forgot to do the research on that. But it was literally a month later, Netflix had picked it up.
Yeah, I can't remember how I saw it, but I rented it from someplace. I don't know if it came out on Redbox eventually, and that's how I ended up seeing it, or what.
Mm-hmm. I know the physical. There was still a delay between the physical and the streaming, because it was basically like, well, we're not really going to let this go to theaters, so let's try this. And they dropped it. And maybe it wasn't on Xbox's network because it was a Sony movie or is a Sony movie. And so I know it was on PlayStation Network, which is where I got it. And I just felt like that was sort of the precursor to this, this pandemic that we've led into. And it was just, back then it was so weird. And now you have the freaking new Mortal Kombat movie, the new DC movie, Wonder Woman 24, WW 2084?
84, yeah.
Yeah. Which I heard was garbage, but it's just
It wasn't
weird.
it wasn't I'll give you my take on it, right? Like, it wasn't bad, but it was nowhere near what the first one was. That first one was, everybody's like, have you seen this shit? Like, DC like stepped up their game for this one, because DC,
okay,
like some of their stuff, when they get dark with it, they do a good job. Like the Dark Knight stuff, that was all really good. But the first Wonder Woman was a really good movie.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, I don't know why we don't. Oh man,
dude, this second one, I'm like,
for that thing.
Yeah, this second one, I'm like, it's like the whole premise was like they tried too hard and didn't have anybody come and try to like pull in like the loopholes.
Oh,
like I'm
really?
one of those. Yeah, I'm like one of those guys that just gets weird with it. Like,
go tell me, because that's what we're talking about, dude. We're talking about these big theatrical. So think about this. It's a theatrical release. It was literally the theatrical release straight to HBO Max, which, by the way, HBO is home box office. So this is kind of weird, crazy stuff to me. Like, think about it. HBO was always ahead of the curve. And now they're literally the curve. They're the place to drop a new movie in 2021. And this was supposed to be one of DC's WB's biggest fucking movies of all time, if they could help it, because Wonder Woman did so well, had such critical acclaim. So don't hold back. That's what we're talking about. I want to hear about it, because this is a theatrical release you got for free.
Right. Yes. So like, okay, so the storyline, like Kristen Wiig is in it, and she's like a nerd.
She's in the first one?
No, she's in the second one.
She's not in the first one though at all. So it's a new character.
No. Yeah, first. Yeah. Well, almost everybody's a new character because Wonder Woman ages different.
Right.
So the first one is from like a long time ago. There's
20s, World War II ish.
No, I want to say World War II ish, which would put it in like the 30s, early
30s, 40s.
Yeah, like somewhere in the realm of like early 30s to 40s, something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah. Okay.
But like, so she's still around in this movie looking exactly the same, and it's a completely different cast.
And it's 1984 in this movie, assuming the title is
Yep. So now it's 1984, and Kristen Wiig is in there, and Kristen Wiig is a scientist, and then at this point in time, Wonder Woman is kind of like a geologist type thing. I don't remember everybody's roles, but they kind of become friends in a weird way. So like this nerdy girl is like now becoming friends with this ridiculously hot, like had to have been popular girl, right? Like, I don't know what it's like to be like that. So that dynamic, you're like, this is good. The storyline's good. Like things are going well. And then the bad guy comes in, and the bad guy kind of just, you don't know he's the bad guy at first. So I don't want to like ruin anything.
Yep.
But basically, like, in short, there's something that makes a lot of people be able to just kind of wish things into existence.
Oh.
And there are a lot of open-ended, like, shit where you're like, what? Like, it's not bad. And I don't want to give any spoilers, so that's why I'm not really saying any more than that. But it's like, if he wished this to happen, well then why does all this like
Yeah.
Why wouldn't have this happened? Like I think about stuff too much like that, where I'm just like, none of that would have worked, you know?
Right. But you're thinking, no, the way you're saying this is you're thinking that you may be the odd one out. And I have to say that can't be the case. This is a comic book movie. Nerds do shit like that.
Oh yeah,
It's
no, I'm for
just
sure not the odd one out.
okay. I just felt
Yeah.
like you were saying, like, you know, I overthink. I feel like you were maybe implying, like, maybe people listening to this, you know, they're not going to do that sort of stuff. And I'm like, if you're going to watch a fucking comic book movie, you're probably going to do that shit.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm just saying. Like, I know some people don't overthink it. So if you just want to go
Right.
and watch a movie and not really think too much into like the logistics of everything,
Sure,
it's a pretty good movie. I didn't mind it. It's definitely not the first one, not by far. Like
that
sucks.
sucks.
This one's like the first one was more serious, and this one's still got a lot of big budget like animations and stuff. Like it looks
Sure.
really good. There's scenes of Wonder Woman as a child, like competing in these like what would be almost like their Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And that stuff is pretty dope. Like, I mean, still over the top, you know, where she's jumping like 100 yards in a single bound, and you're like, all right, whatever. But you know, I guess that's what they do on their planet. I can't really discredit that. Like, they're just able to do that shit there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole time, you know, like there ends up being more than one bad guy because of what these people are able to wish into existence, and just weird
I don't
stuff
like this wish
that.
into existence idea. It just
No,
feels
it's
fucking
literally
weird.
like you can just wish whatever you want, and it comes
without
true.
A genie present. I mean, come on.
Well, it's like this thing. It's. I mean, you could basically put this in the thing, like the place of a genie. So there's this thing.
Gotcha.
And then they're able to wish whatever they want as long as they're in possession of the thing when they wish it.
Mm-hmm.
But then it takes a turn, and yeah,
yeah.
There's a part. Yeah, there's a part. Well, I'll say that there's a part where it really gets convoluted, is they're able to like broadcast the television and let everybody that's watching make a wish. So then just like the world just goes chaotic for like it's like towards the end, and you got like the last 20 minutes where you're just like, what?
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, you all just get to now.
That's weird, dude.
Yeah.
So have you caught because I don't know, this is weird. This Wonder Woman thing now, it's just freaking me out. I'm like, what? I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's with a bad taste in my mouth. The Godzilla vs. Kong. We talked to some people about it. They have HBO.
Yeah.
Said it was good. Said it was a good movie.
I looked, the IMDb ratings are good. So I definitely want to check it out. You haven't
got around to it yet?
I got till the end of the month, so it's available to us till the April 30th, I believe.
Okay, so is that because of your contract deal that you have, like with your AT&T and your phone and stuff like that, or are they pulling these after? Like, does HBO have a limited window time for these movies?
Yep. Yeah, Wonder Woman is not available anymore.
So how is that working? Because I think we'll get into Disney Plus right after this, because that's what I have for these like home box office releases, these blockbuster movies, and like I have Disney Plus, so we'll get into it right after this. But so how is HBO? How is the home box office working?
So it's just there. It's just available. Like they advertise the shit out of it every time you open it up. It's like, hey, don't forget, this is free to you. And I'm guessing that they kind of sign a deal together where they're just like one of the, you know, I'm guessing
they did
so
for sure. Like
HBO...
it's known that WB and HBO, they signed a deal so that way, because WB doesn't have a streaming platform, And then WB is also the owners of DC, Wonder Woman that we're talking about. Right. I believe they're the producers of the Mortal Kombat movie. Yeah, they signed a deal to say like, yep, HBO Max is our platform that we're doing our theatrical releases through now.
To release it though for free, like all you have to do is have that. I'm guessing that there's some sort of a deal where they figured that because these movies are going to be 100% free, that they're going to get a lot of traffic based off of that. So they were able to essentially, because it's only available for a limited amount of time, I think they probably figured it out to be like some sort of a rental almost.
Yeah.
You know, like WB will pay you this much to be able to show your movie for 1 month. And every time a new movie comes out, you know, you have a whole new fan base that wasn't excited about Wonder Woman, but now is excited about, you know, Kong versus Godzilla.
Right.
And you hit them again with the Mortal Kombat, and everybody's like, "Oh shit!" We had Tom and Jerry too.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about that one because my sister actually, their theater's still open in their town, and they were able to go to that. They don't live in a big town, so there's nobody fucking there anyway. But the point that I'm trying to get to is like, did you watch that one? Is that one also limited? Like, are all of these theatrical releases, like the simultaneous theatrical release and the HBO release, are they always limited? Is it always 30 days?
Yeah, I think it's always right around that 30-day mark. Like, maybe just over 30 days, because I think the other one came out. I think Kong versus Godzilla was like March. Oh yeah, it might be 30 days. It might have been March 30th that it came out, and then it's gone on April 30th.
Okay.
But yeah, Tom and Jerry we watched because I have a 3-year-old, so we're like, yeah, he might be into this stuff. And I wasn't impressed with that movie. The storyline is fine, but the Tom and Jerry are 2D in a real world. In a real world.
And like everything else is shot with a real video camera.
Yeah,
and then they're animated in.
Right. And there's a couple of times where they did a poor job, like that Chloe Grace Moretz, who in that movie I liked. She did a very good job, and she's not a little girl anymore. So you're just like, yeah, I'll look at her for a while, you know. And she did a really good job in that movie. Like her, I will say that her, and then they have that. Is it Michael Peñas? Is that what his name is?
Oh, I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember how to pronounce his last name ever.
Yeah, he was in the Ant-Man. He's a, I don't know. He's a like a Latino dude, and he kind of speaks fast a lot and has the pauses if you don't know who he is. He just, hey, what are you trying to do, man? You're gonna try to take my job? You can take my job. You know, that's
he has that same that delivery.
Yeah, that kind of delivery. He talks fast and then pauses and then fast and pauses, and him and her are good in that movie. But then you have Tom and Jerry,
the stars of the movie. Literally, the movie's named after them.
Who don't talk, and they just, I mean, it's like Tom and Jerry of old.
Yeah.
Brought into a hotel, and they do their normal stuff where they're just like smashing stuff and trying to like beat up each other.
It seems like
it's just weird.
Yeah. Well, how does a cartoon that used to be 10, 15 minutes long drag on for 2 hours? Is that kind of...
Yeah, well, what it really is that there's a completely different storyline, and Tom and Jerry are just like the mischief in the movie.
The filler almost, huh? Like the funny filler.
Yeah, right, kind of funny filler, but they're like the ones that are almost making the problems. Like Chloe Grace Moretz. I don't know if I'm supposed to say her whole name the whole time. It just feels weird not.
Whatever, the female lead.
That cute lady. just completely taken away from her ability to act. Just be like the cute
down to her looks.
The cute blonde is the one I'm talking about here, guys. And she like didn't tell the truth on her job application and gets hired in this hotel.
Okay.
and then she's trying to like plan a wedding for who's the guy that's married to Scarlett Johansson? He's on Saturday Night Live right now.
Seth.
Is it Seth?
I'm pretty sure. Shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, that guy.
Yeah, he's in the movie getting married to somebody else, and she's like trying to plan the wedding or whatever, and the whole storyline is like they're gonna have this wedding, and it's gonna be this big extravagant wedding because they're like two of the biggest stars, I guess, in whatever world this is, and then Tom and Jerry just keep
fucking shit up.
But it's
Colin Jost, by the way.
Yeah,
it's Colin Jost.
Oh yes, right. Colin Jost.
He took Seth's place on him in that.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's those two guys now that took over the Weekend Update, and Seth was last time I remembered, Seth was the Weekend Update person. Then Jost. Okay. Yep. Anyways.
Yeah. So I mean, basically the storyline, it just comes down to, where like there's like the main boss of this hotel and then them people where Tom and Jerry keep causing nuisances, but they keep hiding it, like and like hiding stuff behind their back when the people come around the corner.
That old cartoon
that kind of stuff. It's just like that over and over. It's the same joke done like 40 times.
Right. Yeah. It's the seriously the 10 to 15 minute cartoon dragged on because they just keep running it into the ground. Yeah.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And that one was also on a timer. That was like a 30-day access sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that one's gone now. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's different in a way from Disney, but also Disney's running their own platform. These are their fucking movies. So
maybe that one was on Disney Plus then. We have Disney Plus too. So
No. Tom and Jerry was HBO. You were right on.
Okay.
100%. I know that is I know that is accurate. I have it in the notes down there as HBO, but also I noted that one because we have kids.
Yep.
Dad shit. So the other reason that I kept it up there was because the cartoon thing, the transition, and Disney has been doing this as well, and Disney's the one I have. You have it too, but Disney's the only one that I have that's been really dropping these big ones. Hulu got pretty early access to My Little Ponies, like the second modern My Little Ponies movie. They got pretty early access to that, which my wife is into. I'm not a brony, but holy shit. I'm not a brony, but damn, that show is good. The music is dope. The animation's sick.
Really?
Patton Oswalt is in it. Like,
is he now?
Yeah, I mean, he's not in it. He's not like, I don't think he's in the movies, but he has a character, and his new stand-up has the fucking funniest because he's got a daughter.
Oh yeah, he's got a joke about it. That's why.
Joke. Oh my god.
That's why I was like, is he? Like, they must have heard his joke, and they were like,
oh no,
yeah.
He knows all that because he's in it also. So it's like also like his nerdness takes him to a next level, but it's also him just being a good actor and studying up on some shit before because he's a comic book nerd, right? So he learns the world. Anyways, back to Disney. Back to Disney quick because they have a new movie out, Raya, right now, which is like a fictional Asian
it looks
world.
Super good. Yep.
It looks super good. They put it behind the $30 paywall, so you have to pay them the $7 a month or whatever it is, and then they have this $30 paywall that it's behind as well. And they did it with Mulan because Mulan was the big one that was supposed to drop, the real life version. That one you can watch
for just having Disney Plus now, though.
But now it's free. Exactly. So they're doing this release where they drop it. They drop the theatrical release, right, across the platform. And then they say, pay us $30. You can rent it now. And then they take it off. And then when the Blu-ray comes out, they bring it back. That's what they did with Mulan. You got to think that's what they're going to do with Raya as well. But Soul, Pixar's newest movie.
Yep.
Just dropped it. Just fucking let it go. It was free.
Yeah.
Like day and date. They're just like, here it is. I don't even know if it went to theaters.
I don't know either, man. I watched that one right away when it came out. That was a good movie.
Yeah, fuck yeah. We bought the Blu-ray because that was our way of supporting, you know what I mean? Like that was our way of supporting Pixar was by just going and buying the Blu-ray because fuck yeah, it dropped like on Christmas Day or something like that. We had 3 days off. Of course, we stopped and watched fucking Soul. It's a dope movie. Not really a kids movie though, if you think about it.
Dude, have you seen the new Mulan?
Yeah, so we watched the new Mulan, but we didn't buy it. We did not do the rental. We waited until it came out on the like free, it's not free because you pay for it monthly, but we waited until it came out as part of buying the service. I don't think we made it to the end. I'll be honest with
you. We only watched a little bit too because I was trying to watch it with my son and we got a little ways in and I'm like, we can't keep watching this with him. Like that witch is creepy and then she turns into that bird or whatever and I'm like, fuck, no, this is too much for him.
Too creepy for him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mulan's my wife's one of her favorite movies. I mean, we watched like the original Mulan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we throw that on randomly all the time.
I was talking to Shannon about it. Like Chris Rock is the dragon, isn't he?
No, Eddie Murphy, baby.
Was it Eddie Murphy? Like,
fuck yeah.
I thought it was, but then I was like, I don't know. Like, he's the dragon and the donkey. so I started like second guessing myself that it was like somebody else. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Yeah.
And I didn't do any research in it. So that's why I started telling myself it was Chris Rock because I was like,
no, Chris Rock is the zebra in the Madagascar series.
I knew that. What is he? What's that? Oh, God, I couldn't get that out of my head for a while. The afro thing? I can't remember what it is.
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, afro, dun, dun, afro. I can't remember what he says.
It's something like that. I know what you're talking about because it's a very colorful, crazy, like crazy hyper colored.
Yeah, it's like a rainbow colored afro he's wearing.
Yeah. So the Disney approach is way different than the HBO WB approach, right? Where they do this like $30 rental, but is also behind the $7 paywall of. Are you gonna do the Raya rental?
No, I won't pay for any of that stuff because I don't want to see any of it that bad, like right off the bat.
Right. Here's the thing. I think they're fairly priced. I just don't. I wouldn't go to the fucking theater and see that. And this is where Disney fucked up. We would have went and seen Soul. We would have went and seen Soul in the theaters. They didn't even give us the option to give them the $30. They would have got our $30. Nope. They just gave it to us. I'm like, fucking sweet. I have no idea what the choice was behind that. I have not researched. I don't know if there is research, but they fucked up. And then these other two, this Mulan and Raya right now, and I bet you they keep doing this. Like you said, or like things are, loosening up here in Minnesota. The restrictions are loosening up. Theaters are opening again. That's where we can get into delays and stuff here in just a minute. And like, there's a good chance the next Pixar movie, which I can't think of what it is off the top of my head right now, but I should. I'm a total Pixar nerd. That there's going to be a theatrical release. We're going to go see it. We'll pay for it. We'll go see it in the theaters. And then guess what? It'll come out on Disney Plus. We'll watch it a few times. We'll buy the Blu-ray. They didn't even give us the option with Soul. And I just thought that was weird as shit. But then Raya, it's like, no, this is just another Disney release. I haven't heard everybody ranting and raving like it's the new Mulan or something. Or not the new Mulan. Shit. Fuck that up. That's the other movie that they made us pay for. I was talking about Moana.
Oh, like, Moana. Yeah.
Dude, when that movie dropped, do you remember just like the hype around that? Like everybody was talking about fucking Moana. And if Raya had that buzz about it, there's a good chance that we would. If somebody was like, that Raya movie? Remember when Moana came out and everybody was like, yeah, another Disney movie, it's going to be decent. And it's like fucking super awesome. That's Raya. I was like, oh shit, really? Okay, maybe I will drop $30 on this then. Right. Not wait, another month for it to come out on the service just naturally.
I could still wait though, like even if it's super dope, like if I don't have to pay, like I have so much else going on in my life. Like if I had less stuff, maybe I'd be like, yeah, let's just pull the trigger on this tonight. I want to watch this now. But like most of these streaming services we haven't had that long, so I have so much shit to watch. I just, wait it out.
Put on something else.
Now that we have, dude, Netflix, I'm such a big fan of stand-up comedy, and I also like the true crime, like fucked up documentaries and stuff. So I have like so much different like comedy. It's like a palate cleanser. I get to watch shit about serial killers, and then like, throw me on a stand-up special, and then like I just watch a bunch of people. Yeah. I watch a bunch of people die, and then I laugh and I go to bed. But
hell yeah, dude.
I just wanted to say back to Moana. Like, you can judge me if you want. I know you won't, but I mean, like the listeners, anybody listening.
Audience, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that is also one of the best animated films ever made. And that Moana song that she sings when she's going out to sea, Alessia Sakara does that song for the soundtrack. And that is one of my all-time favorite like morning songs. Like when you're getting
like your wake up song?
When you're waking up and you're getting ready, yeah, like it's so good. That song is so much better than the one in the movie too. Like the one in the movie is good, but the beats in the background and everything, and that, not taking away anything from that girl that did the acting in the movie, but she's not a professional singer. So
yeah,
like, that's a
different topic.
It's a phenomenal song. It's a good ass movie, and like I'll watch that movie every time it comes on. And The Rock in it. Oh man,
dude, that movie is so good. We love that movie. It's so fucking good.
Have you ever see any of The Rock's Instagram stuff?
Yeah, some of it.
Like,
not a ton.
He talks. His daughter loves Moana, and she doesn't buy that he's Maui. Like, she's young enough where he'll just be talking to her, and he's like, "Is Daddy Maui?" And she'll be like, "No." And he'll be like, "Okay, let's sing the song again." He's like, "Nothing the same, and you're welcome." And then like it's the exact same voice that's in the movie, and she's just like, "Nope, not you."
I love it. It's so awesome. Oh, kids are the best.
Yeah, dude.
We could go on. Maybe we'll just make Moana. We're just gonna do a Moana side podcast after this. But so to hard pivot here, we talked about theaters, and we've talked about in past podcasts about how you love the theaters. You go to theaters, like it's like,
yeah.
You love it. And now there's these movies that are delaying. There's these movies that aren't taking this path. Like the Fast and Furious was supposed to come out last summer. They pushed it again. Seems like it's going to come out this year. Ghostbusters, same thing. Like there's a 007 movie coming. Like all that shit. They actually just pushed them. These studios are just like, yeah.
Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2 with the ladies again or what?
Oh, no. This is the new like reboot Ghostbusters.
It's a reboot?
And the new reboot, yeah. From what I've heard, they're completely ignoring the ladies version, and this is just like the old cast. So like minus Harold Ramis, R.I.P. They're like, I guess, coming back and sort of rebooting it. Like,
dude,
Paul
did you
Rudd.
write that name down?
Huh?
Did you write that name down?
Harold Ramis?
Yeah.
No.
You just know that name off the top of your head?
Yeah. I kind of live in a world where it's Ghostbusters is nerdy enough that it just falls into my nerd world.
I know Ghostbusters, but I didn't know his name.
Yeah, that's his real name.
I know Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd. The other two I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I remembered Harold. I remember Harold Ramis because he's the one who died. Like he's actual for real.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah,
passed away. Yeah, and so that's why I can remember his name. But yeah, it's Ghostbusters Afterlife is the like full title. Paul Rudd's in it. And my my understanding is that it's actually a reboot of the original, I guess. Yeah. And so like these movies are pushing off. Are there any movies right now that are going to get you to go back to the theater right away that did get pushed? Or because you're the one, because I don't go to the theater that much. I pretty much go to see Pixar movies and that's it.
Yeah.
And they gave me that shit for free. So fuck it. I'm good. If they keep going down that road, I'll never go back to the fucking theater again.
Right. I mean, like, it just depends on when this COVID shit is done with, really. I just, like, when we had a chance to go see a movie, we would just go. Like, we hadn't really been to many movies since we had Beckett, but we used to just go whenever. Like, anything that sounded good.
Oh, yeah. It was just like an activity to do, right? Yeah, it was just like a Thursday night, a Saturday night. It didn't matter.
The Fast and Furious probably would have got us out there, even though those have fallen off, in my opinion.
Sure.
Like, I'm a car guy, so I used to like to go to those to just see the different cars. Like, I would
regardless of story, even.
Yeah, regardless of story.
They got good cars.
Yeah, and they had so many like just little hidden gems in there that not a lot of people noticed, and I got excited. Yeah, and I got excited about those. Like, I'm just like, oh shit, they slipped that in there. Like, bet you didn't know that. Like, I may have said this. I know I've said it to you before. I don't know if I ever said it on the podcast, but there's one of the Fast and Furious where they're having like a race through the desert, and it looks kind of like a Hummer. And if you don't know any better, you're just like, whatever, that's just like a Hummer. But it's a rare Lamborghini SUV.
Oh, shit.
And they're driving through, and I'm just like, I literally like nudging Shannon's shoulder as they're driving. I'm like, oh shit, that's the Lambo SUV. Just like smiling to myself, like, I bet none of these other motherfuckers know that. It's the Lambo, bro.
Like, holy shit, that guy's so dope.
They don't know it. It's a Lambo.
That's in there just for the car guys.
Hell yeah, I just wanted to stand up and like look at everybody, just be like, that's not a fucking Hummer, bitches. But now it's like, you know, I used to get excited about seeing these cars, and then all of a sudden they're just like, yeah, this one, Dom, is going to go off-roading, so we're just going to put a lift kit on a Dodge Charger, and you're just like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
I don't want to see that shit. Show me a cool rare car, not that you just put a truck suspension on a muscle car.
That you drop the body of a muscle car onto a truck.
Right. Like, you're going off-roading. Why are we jacking up a muscle car? Like, this seems so unnecessary, but he's just like, oh, I'm Dom. The only thing I drive is a muscle car.
The only thing I drive is a quarter mile at a time.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time. Sometimes it's through trees, so put the lift kit on it. So stupid. This is so dumb.
Oh my god, that's just ridiculous. Anyways, yeah. Do you think you're missing out on? I mean, besides the sweet fucking popcorn, do you think you're missing out on something by not going to the theaters? Because a theater experience, like, the sound is insane. Like, Soul would have been awesome with all of that music and the way, like, oh my god, it's so floaty. And we don't have surround sound set up anymore because that's a lot of wires, and the wife doesn't want the wires.
Yeah, no, you don't want the wires.
It's too much, especially with kids around.
Oh, dude, they're like drawn to it. You just want to.
So do you think you're missing something by doing this? Because you're participating in this streaming, the blockbusters.
Yeah. No, the only thing I'm missing is like what you just mentioned. Like, Soul would have been dope to see in the theaters. Like, when they get into the zone. Like, if you guys haven't seen it, there's a part of the movie where they're talking about how you get into the zone, and it's literally like your soul, like, is just in the zone. Like, when you get into a spot, when you're jamming on the piano or the guitar or whatever in life you're really good at,
sign on the street corner,
whatever you're really good at, and you just get in the zone. You're fishing out there, and you're just one with the fish. You can't miss a fish. You're feeling every bite. You're just in the zone, man. And that, when they were in the zone and you're hearing all that music, and it's like, oh yeah, to have the theater sound for some of those scenes would have been real dope.
Right.
But other than that, no. I mean, it's just I miss the theater experience more than anything.
Yeah.
I just like going and getting that popcorn. You go get your seat, and then the big ass screen. You can get lost in the movie better.
Right.
That's what I enjoy.
Because the lighting is just right too. Like we were talking about in the first part, where it's still light out. You know, when you're trying to sit down and watch a movie after you put the kid to bed, and it's still fucking light outside. No matter how dark your blackout curtains are, it's still different lighting inside the house, and that theater is just well controlled, and it's just it gets you in the zone.
Right. Yep. And you're just in there for the ride, man.
Right.
You don't. It's not like you're at home. Which is a nice part about being at home, that you can like, oh man, I gotta go take a pee, and you can pause it and not miss anything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you're fully committed in the theater. Like, I can't leave. I gotta be ready for this. I gotta be in it. So yeah. I like horror movies and stuff too. Right. And those are a lot creepier when you have no choice but to sit through it. Says, I mean, I don't get freaked out by a lot, but every once in a while you get a real good one, and you have to stay watching it.
Yeah.
And also, like, The Hills Have Eyes, when you watch other people leave the theater because they can't take it.
That's part of the entertainment.
Oh, it gives me a sense of pride. I'm just like, fuck yeah. I know it's fucked up, but I'm in it, bud.
But I'm in the win, baby.
I ain't leaving. I'm going to get this shit in the director's cut and watch it over and over at home. I don't give a shit.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. All right. That is a great note to end on, in my opinion. I hope the audience thinks so too. We asked for some audience interaction earlier in the podcast. In case, I don't know how you make it this far. Do you fast forward? Actually, if you do, if you only listen to the random take or the fishing part, if you stop at the fishing part, let us know, please. I would love to hear that. I want to hear audience feedback. You can find us realaf.tv. Remember, real with 2 E's. You can find us there. You can contact us through that. We get the emails, comments on YouTube. We get them. Look us up. It's REELAF TV. We're interacting with you guys. I promise. I would love to hear. Excuse me. Had to take a break there. If you guys are stopping or starting in different places, that's an interesting fact that the analytics just can't figure out. Anyways, let's wrap this shit up, Tim. Remember, follow us, subscribe, all that shit. It helps us because we got some shit coming up in May that we're going to be doing. So you got to keep an eye on the social medias and keep listening to the podcast, as we will leak little things here, I'm sure, as we come up. And that is pretty much where we're...